I came to Knowle West in 1995 as photographer in residence. I was employed by Knowle West Health Association to look at the relationship between health and arts and to run photography projects. One of the things that I was asked to do when I came to Knowle West was to set up a darkroom. Through the gym at the community centre, there was a kind of cupboard space that had been used in the past as a darkroom, and we completely refurbished it, myself and a volunteer, Tanya, and we set up and cleaned up all the equipment, bought new chemicals, got a sink in there, and basically got the darkroom started. And it was quite small and pokey, but a lot of interesting work happened in there. When people got involved with actually seeing their photographs developing and seeing the picture emerge, quite a lot of people found that a very magical moment and got very passionate about it.
I got introduced to Carolyn Hassan, and then it went from there, to be honest with you. The point for me was to be active and not get myself into trouble. I can go somewhere actually what I want to do and get involved in things to stay away from trouble, basically. Because when you're at school, sometimes you don't want to learn, and that was my problem. I didn't want to learn. But now with, obviously, Carolyn, it's like, yeah, do this, and I think that we worked as a good team.
I met Carolyn when I was a member of a teenage mothers group, and she came in to do a photography project. I think what encouraged me most to get involved was Carolyn and Penny's approach. I enjoyed the way that they allowed people to be creative and didn't try and take too much control over individual creativity. It wasn't just, this is how you do it. I made a short film with Penny, and it went on from there, really. It just, spiralled.
Well, in the early days, this was before we were even Knowle West Media Project, we made a video with 100 young people. We consulted with 100 young people on the estate. The video was called Your Video Letters from Knowle West. And that video went towards us getting money for the first project, which was Knowle West Media Project. We had this sort of Heath Robinson type of kit. We would get a commission. Carolyn and I would go out there. I would direct it, Carolyn would film it, and then we'd both cut it together on some old Mac that we had in her attic in her house. So a lot of the early projects were very much about everybody pitching in and everybody being a part of the crew and making things happen, really.
Really? Well, where did that come from?
We were at the Health Association. We had a desk, and I think we might have had a filing cabinet. Luckily, we weren't there for very long because we were then able to move into the old William Budd Health Centre, where we had 2 offices.
There were 7 of us then. One moving image manager, Penny, Carolyn, director, Michaela, finance, Martin, multimedia, Joe, Hansford, photography, Sandra Manson, trainee, and then me, the second trainee.
When we started, it was quite different. It was this run-down old health centre in Leinster Avenue, and we just started very small in a couple of rooms with a couple of computers, and it just all grew from there.
We expanded in those offices. We started off in one office or one doctor's waiting room, and then we moved into another waiting room and doctor's office and examination room, and then another, and just sort of slowly took over the building.
No matter what you did to the building, no matter how much you painted it or moved it around or changed it, it was still an old doctor's surgery.
We realised that we needed to be independent of the organisation that had hosted us, Knowle West Health Association, and in 2002 becoming an independent charity and a company. And at that point, looking at what we could do in the medium to long term as a media centre working in the community.
We had one of our trustee meetings where we said, well, what should we call ourselves now? And it seemed actually most straightforward just to change project to centre.
It was interesting because there was always this sort of a bit of a spectre of, have we got enough money to take it to the next stage? So we were constantly fundraising for the next stage of the project.
Gradually we had visioning days and we changed hands with the building. We celebrated with a picnic, and I was there through the stages of the building is going to be knocked down. We are going to rebuild a media centre.
Had I not been involved in our community at that time, I could have been involved in so many other things in my community that weren't necessarily positive. And I think most of the people who were part of our community will agree with me that it was a massive part of our teenage years, of our lives growing up.
At one point in time, we were pretty much told, you won't get the money. You just won't get the money. This is a nice project. Close it down. Thanks very much. And then finally, the money just literally slotted together. It was like bang, 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 bang. Everything just lined up. Yep, the money's together. And I remember that realisation when Carol and I realised that the money's together, we're actually going to build this building. So it was literally sort of nail-biting stuff. And then, ta-da, the money's together. Right, someone call a builder. Get the building built. You've got 12 months. There's Tanya doing a hard day's work, sat in a chair in Mickey's office. There
You always work really hard.
And there's Mickey, look at this, look at this is physical labour.
December 2006, and the staff of the Knowle West Media Centre prepare to leave their outdated premises, previously the William Budd Health Centre, for the last time.
The projects that had started were getting bigger, and there were more and more young people coming into the building and more people from the community coming in.
When I got offered the traineeship, I thought, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And I really got into photography, and I really took that off, and I really just kept building. And I think that's when the media centre really took off as well. All of a sudden, we were both taking off at a really fast pace.
It's like a seed, I guess, with a few shoots in the beginning. And, it's really exciting to see what's going to grow out of it. All of a sudden, this small sprouting seedling had just shot up and become this great big tree. And now, you've got the flowers blossoming, if you like.
Knowle West Media Centre have actively been out in the community to try and engage everyone, to try and involve people and, make them feel like it's theirs, so that they've got some ownership of that. But I just never, ever thought, like, from being there when it was the William Budd Health Centre to what it is now it's phenomenal.
I do feel that if there were more organisations such as this in areas such as Knowle West, then it wouldn't take long for the areas to turn themselves around. In the traineeship, it was mainly down to me receiving all the training, and now I get to pass those skills on to other young people, and my young people now pass that on to other young people. It's a nice circle, if you like. I do feel so privileged in what I do, and that what I've gained from it, I think, is immeasurable.
I kind of look back on it now and think I've changed, and the project's totally changed as well. I think my own life's really taken off in a way that I didn't really think it would. I don't feel like regeneration is about the buildings, it's more about the people. Because I think if you regenerate the people and give them new things to do, then they're going to change their attitude.
It's changed immeasurably by the amount of staff members we've got and the amount of staff members that come and go. At one point we had 2, 3, 4 members of staff, and now I don't know how many we've got. There's so many.
I think things will get better. We'll do more variety of projects and work with more people and build up our business.
I think there'll be lots of screenings. There'll be screenings every week, screenings of films made here. Lots of public will come in and use the building on a regular basis. The young people's turnover will probably increase, and we'll be turning out more and more photographers, more and more filmmakers, but not just that, just giving people some aspirations.
The vision for the Media Centre is, in 20 years' time, the Media Centre will still be here, challenging, creating, doing whatever is relevant to that time and making a difference.
I think we're in for a very interesting future. I see us as really pushing our practice and continuing to have a local focus, but having a regional, national and international scope and range, so that we will connect up. We will join networks, we will create networks, so we learn and we share our practice, but we will still have a very local focus. And I hope that we'll continue to be creative, working with lots and lots of people in the community and bringing in lots of interesting collaborators.